Garrett Lee of Broadcom Enterprise Security Group is here. Garrett, welcome. Thanks for joining me today. How are organizations in government, or how should organizations in government use AI tools for better cybersecurity protections?
Sure, absolutely. That's a multifaceted answer for sure. The answer is pretty much every facet of the operation could benefit from some up-leveling. And that's in terms of the efficiency of the workflows, the effectiveness of what they're trying to accomplish, the operationalization of the capabilities that they're striving to bring into the tool set, and then the up-leveling of the human capital and the operators, the teams, the security teams who are operating the capabilities and driving the mission. In specific, from a threat hunting perspective and a defensive perspective, the efficiency is how are you interfacing with those tools? How easy are they to use? How much are you able to use natural language to carry out your mission on a day-to-day basis? And so that interface modernization using AI, if a threat hunter conducts a threat investigation, how are they able to summarize what they're seeing out of the data? The effectiveness of the hunt itself, how are we getting more predictive? And in the past, we started with being able to recognize patterns using AI, and now we've analyzed those patterns and fed real information about attacks into our models so that now we can draw predictive analytics out of that. So in much the same way as you're typing an email and the next few words show up saying this is probably what this person is intending to type. Mm-hmm. It's getting sharper and sharper. We started with spell check, then went to grammar, and now to this predictive element. There's an analog to what we're doing with cyber capabilities. Mm-hmm. From an operationalization standpoint, as an agency or organization is going to deploy a new cyber tool or capability, there's a great many decisions that have to be made to tailor and tune those capabilities to their environment to make best use of the functionality. Mm-hmm. Those decisions can be certainly sped up to shorten the time to value on a new tool deployment. And then lastly, the operators themselves, for them to level up and understand how to operate a new tool, whether it's teaching the use and also making the tool easier, we're looking at how do we shorten that time to value for the human capital as well.
You mentioned a moment ago the idea of speeding up that decision-making loop. Is there a risk that one can speed that loop up too much, or given the nature of the threat landscape today, that's not a thing?
Well, we're talking about big data no matter what we do. So the amount of telemetry that has to be surfaced to then illuminate the patterns of attack, if we're talking about from an endpoint detection and response standpoint, how is that information coming to the fore? From security prevention and holistic security prevention capabilities, to be able to see patterns in the data would have taken an operator a lot longer. So is it going to go so fast that they make mistakes? I think the false positives will actually be reduced by this. The signal to noise ratio that'll shift to the point where the operator can see the patterns faster, can take more rapid and automated actions based upon what they see, can recognize the patterns sooner in the kill chain and say, based upon these three things that have happened, they're going after this. Let's harden our protections here so the data itself, which is at the heart of the target, is protected from attack. And then learning from that about how that organization was attacked, informing cyber policy within preventive tools is also part of how we see AI adding efficiency advantages and effectiveness advantages to the cyber operators.
Data vulnerability is obviously one risk, and you've described that already. Is it the biggest one, and what are the other risks that exist in this area?
Well, it's certainly the target. It's what most attackers are after, whether they want that for leverage, for the sake of the data itself, for espionage. There are a number of factors that would drive an attacker to do what they're going to do. But the data itself is the target. And so I think that is very important. Now, on the flip side of that, data in a different context is as organizations begin to take advantage of large language models and AI-based tools, when there's a public data set that they're accessing and feeding into, there's a data leakage or data protection conversation that needs to be part of how organizations are thinking about how they're going to engage AI. In some cases, this is holding back gains that could be made by using these tools because you don't have the governance, the guardrails in place to say, I want to limit it to responsible use of AI, but prevent leakage from HIPAA data, PII, or sensitive data.
Garrett, it's great to have you here. Thanks for joining me.
My pleasure. Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.